evening, everybody. Welcome to Wizards Outlook, eighth game of the season. Wizards fell to the Raptors, 109-100. Got the bottom of the screen. Join us always. We got Raymond Lyons here, Carter Brothers Music. Sports and Carter G. Raymond and live at Capital One. Uh, Cardell, before we get into it and ask you what you thought of the game, as always, before some of you
I
know,
just think I just think they came out flat, man. I think they came out flat, and the Raptors were motivated because of the season opening loss that they had at home. I knew they would come in here motivated and ready to return the favor, to Washington and here in DC. And in a sense, for most of the game, they did. I know the Wizards made a run in the fourth and well in the second half to try to try to cut into the lead where it wasn't so bad. But honestly, for most of the game, Toronto thoroughly outplayed them in pretty much every facet. We all knew coming in that if Toronto beats you on the offensive boards and they cause havoc getting in the passing lane and stealing the ball, you have no chance against them. The Wizards did a good job overall as far as that. They matched them with the offensive rebounding 10 each. You know what I mean? But the Raptors still got their average in steals. For those that don't know, they're number one in the NBA in steals. They got 11. They averaged 11 a game. Tonight they had 10. You know what I mean? And that's all they really need. And and Van Vliet, man, he was just outstanding. He controlled the game. You know what I mean? Like it seemed like in the let's say about first quarter and a half, he let the other guys do what they needed to do. Then he got aggressive. It's like when he figured out that could nobody really guard him, it was a wrap. And you know when it's getting dire because Unseld to put Neto on him. You know what I'm saying? The quick guard to get up underneath him. And he cooked them too. And it was just, I was like, that's just one of them days. It's just one of them nights. Like, all right, we can't mess with him, but we can't let the others get involved, get going there. You know what I mean? And that didn't happen. They couldn't stop. They couldn't slow down OG. It's V. He was hitting shots at will. Gary Trent Jr., we all know what he can do when he get going. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, 15 or 6 or 16, that was a pretty good night for the Wizards as far as defense because we know he can explode. But, I just felt that with Van Vliet controlling the game and keeping the Wizards on their heels as far as scoring and finding guys and whatnot, they never quite caught up enough. And then the 3-point shooting, that's been an Achilles heel for the Wizards for the most part of the season. I know the Raptors shot 40%. The Wizards usually do a good job of keeping teams in the low 30s, so 40% is excessive for what the Wizards have shown this season so far. And then the Wizards shot 25%. So they lost by 9. So, that's pretty much the difference in the game. That's a 6-point swing. And if it wasn't for the free throws, they wouldn't have been that close, you know what I mean? Even though they missed a few. So I just feel that it was little things that the Raptors did better than the Wizards. And we all know little things add up to big things, and that's how you pull out close wins, especially on the road.
couldn't agree more. All right, Jay, you were here for it. What your thoughts on it?
Yeah, man, that 3-point shooting really hampered the Wizards, and it's kind of the second game that they had a high volume of 3-point shooting with poor efficiency, and that it just hampers your offense, man. And a lot of them were ill advised, and not only were they ill advised, they were ill timed. They came at points when the Wizards were kind of pushing and making a run, and then they would just jack up a three and kill their own momentum. Then a lot of times after that, the Raptors came right back down and scored. So it's just you getting it on both ends, man. Like so, they got to clean that up. If they want to win games like this was a winnable game. Even though they didn't play that well, and Toronto played really well. The Wizards were still in it, but they just kind of shot themselves in the foot a few times. That's something they got to clean up, man. If they want to if they want to be the team that they think they can be and that we think they can be. Because it's going to be games like this during the season. Every game is not going to be crisp. Everything is not going to go right. But you got to figure out a way to to still come out on top. When when you're facing a little adversity. So so yeah, man, this is it's just growing pains. Like we keep saying, it's a new team, a new coach, new staff. So they just gonna have to fight through these things and learn each other and figure it out. Um, Defensively, it wasn't bad, but when you got a guy like Van Vliet just getting loose, it's not much you can do, man. Just try to make it tough for him. So yeah, that just is what it is. You got to chalk that one up. They were they rebounded well. They challenged shots. Toronto just made shots, and sometimes it goes that way. But yeah, man. And also, we had talked about in preseason and early on in the season, what the bench was going to look like. They got solid bench production. Like, you can't waste that. So if your bench is going to show up and produce, then the starters got to do their job and hold those other guys in check. Or at least match them. If the starters do a little better job, then they win this game because the Washington Reserves thoroughly outplayed Toronto's. So so yeah, man, it's just 6-3. It's not the end of the world, but I'm pretty sure some of the things we're talking about tonight, Wes Unseld and the staff is going to communicate as well, and those are things they'll be looking to improve on as they move forward.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you guys. I think this is just while this as we learn more about this team as the season goes on, one of the early barometers is just honestly how well they defend the three. The games in which they defended really well, they settle in and their defense fuels them in those games. And 40%. It's not like Toronto shot 55 or something from three, but in a close game, 40% was huge tonight. Because Toronto didn't get a ton at the basket. That part of the game is comparable to both teams, but giving up the threes that you guys mentioned. And as Ray said, the time of the threes. Cardell, you talk all the time about sometimes how threes, bad threes at times lead to runouts and things of that nature. I can count like just right now off the top of my head, at least in the fourth, there were like at least three times where somebody took a three for Washington, and it literally resulted in a Van Vliet bucket in transition, or someone getting fouled in transition. Like it jump started Toronto's offense in that case, and when you're in, when you're trying to, you're trying to make up ground like that, those are backbreakers. But again, there's it's early in the season. Now it's about seeing how this group learns from that, right? For the next time they end up in that situation, how they learn from it. But in terms of something else, I thought, like Ray mentioned, the bench definitely gave him really good minutes tonight. I like the minutes Dennis gave him tonight. But we're gonna get into most player of the game and X factors and things of that nature. Before we do, want to get to the quick words from folks over at Losing Odds real quick. Look, man, it is November. This year is flying by. So it's never too early to prepare. Thanksgiving tickets are back. Fried turkeys will be available to pick up Wednesday, November 24th for $89.95, and side pains are available daily. Use a full menu at foodsandogs.com Thanksgiving and pre-order yours today. Again, it's never too early to get your Thanksgiving preparations ordered. If you're one of the people in your family that's responsible for it, look, man, make your life easy. I can be mad at you. All right, so we're gonna get into this, guys. Ray, we'll start with you this time. Your player of the game.
I think it's pretty obvious. Fred Van Vliet, he just had one of them games, man. The Wizards couldn't do nothing with him, and he carried Toronto early on, um, and just continued it throughout the course of the game. Once he got going, it was pretty much a wrap, and Wizards couldn't do anything. Nobody that they put in front of him was really effective for the most part.
My bad, Cardell. Your player of the game.
Yeah, same Van Vliet. Like I said, he controlled the game from start to finish. They really couldn't guard him, and he found his teammates, and for timely buckets, and with some key possessions, especially down the stretch, man. And I think he did a good job on Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie was quiet. You know what I mean? Forced 4 turnovers. Dinwiddie was 4 for 8. He never really got aggressive. He never really got going. And normally it's Dinwiddie controlling the game for the Wizards. You know what I mean, from the point guard spot, but. Van Vliet didn't allow. He stayed aggressive. He kept him on his heels. So, It was his night.
Yeah, it was 3 for 3 here. I thought it was a masterful performance in controlling the tempo of the game. Like you guys mentioned, he came out early, got his troops involved, and like during that stretch, like I think late in the first half, he was keying that surge to pull away, create some distance. We saw it in the second half routinely. Washington to make a push. They're in a great place, and here's Van Vliet hitting a tough shot over somebody just kind of quelled and run. And he did it all night. So again, really good performance. Carter, we'll start with you, and this was his X factor for the night.
Jv, and I'm not gonna try to pronounce his last name, Jv. He got to start the night with Barnes out, Scotty Barnes out, and he delivered. Without his production, they don't win this game. 15 points, 4 of 8 from the field, 2 from deep, 5 or 6 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, only 2 turnovers. I mean, he did his thing. I know, and he had to deal with Brad Beal. You know what I mean? Yeah, they had to. He had to defend that monster. You know what I'm saying? So 15 for him, and he came in averaging 8. That's a plus, man. He outplayed his normal production, and that was key. They needed him to step up with him getting a starting nod. He did that, and it resulted in a win. So I felt like he was the X factor for sure.
How about you, Russ?
I went with Gary Trent Jr. He just had some timely baskets, and he gave him a spark. I think in the second quarter, him and Van Vliet was kind of getting going together, and they kind of created that separation. And the Wizards were really never able to recover.
All right. Yeah, I went with V. I also won't try to pronounce your last name. Um, I was also trying not to type it because it would have had me struggling over here. But key production for him, like even to start the game, when Van Vliet was trying to get others involved, it kind of loosened the floor for OG at times with him knocking down timely threes. We know what OG is going to bring on a regular basis. Like he's been steadily improving year by year in this league. And V's one of the guys that I think he was in Detroit previously, and ends up in Toronto, and Toronto's continue that track record of continuing to develop folks. Like Carter, you mentioned, he outproduced his normal production tonight. You don't have Scotty out there, and 15 points is key. And I like the spots in which you got to see. Like if you're one, he stayed within himself. The ball got swung to him. You're not down shot. Sometimes it's literally that simple. And he was solid defensively. I definitely have no issue with saying D. Yeah, I'm gonna learn your last name, sir, but won't happen now. It's too early in here to get that. I'm gonna work on it. You guys have anything else? No comment section tonight, so folks in the comments, I'm sure we'll hear from you guys later. After you guys get back around to it. But if you guys have anything else,
Yeah, I just hope the Wizards really buckle down, get their defensive principles back in order. They got 2 heavyweight. They got 2 monsters coming. You got Ja. Memphis. I know they're playing in Denver right now, but they got Ja. Memphis coming in on Friday. And they got the defending champs. I know they're wounded. Chris Middleton out with COVID and whatnot, but and they still got Giannis, and he only knows one way to play. So yeah, it's gonna be tough. They're going to get back to the defensive principles that we saw in the season, because it seemed like since the preseason beginning, it's like slowly but surely they been slipping, and they playing a dangerous game, because then you're gonna look up and they 500 below 500, and it's just like what's going on. So get back to that. Like I said, they have second round talent if they defend. They don't defend. Good luck.
Ray, any final thoughts from you?
Yeah, I just echo Cardell's sentiments. The defensive end has got to start there, you know, because when we've seen even in this small sample size, when they've been sharper on that end, the offense has been more crisp as well. Because they're creating turnovers and getting easy baskets, and then it just energizes you when you see the ball go in, and it's not hard. Then everything just becomes a little easier for you. So yeah, it starts and ends on the defensive end for them. I think we've been saying that since training camp or summer league or what have you. So yeah, they got to get that together.
Yeah. So from Capital One Arena, we'll see you guys very soon. think Cardell will be in the building for John Morant and company on Friday. Um, again, they got to get right on that end because just when you talk about the night Van Vliet had, last thing you want is
That's a good
putting
point.
that kid in transition. That's all I want to say. And then the other thing is, on Sunday, it's a bigger guy. You also don't want him in transition, getting downhill for different reasons, similar results, um, different processes, same type of fear you should have in terms of things you don't want happening. John Morant in the open court and Giannis too. You don't want these things happening, man. Get them in the half court, try to keep them both out the lane, different, and force them into jumpers if you can. They make them, it's cool. But again, like all the stuff we said tonight, last thing you want to do is jump start those guys in transition, man. And it'll be a long 4 quarters if you do. So don't. Yeah, have a great night. Don't forget to get over to the focus.com, and we'll get up with you guys soon.